What's going on, y'all? So my name's Jordan. I'm here with at Bearded Backyard Bonsai. Um, I've been keeping trees in pots since 2023. Last spring is when I started. I created this channel to kind of document my progress through my hobby, and so any comments, critiques that you have about any of my trees, they're more than welcome. I'm here to learn. Like I said, I've only been doing this for about a year, and I just want to get better at what I'm doing and try and keep these trees alive. So any critiques, comments, like I said, more than welcome. If you have something that you want to see me try, something that I haven't tried yet, let me know and we'll get into that. So, that being said, let's get into some trees. So this is the Juniper chinensis. It's a just a little nursery stock plant that I got. It had these two main leaders going up. I bent this one down and this one out and to the left. And I had this other little small leader that went up to about right here. Um, and what I'm planning on doing with this, if you saw in the video a little bit earlier, there's a little piece of plastic wrap right there. I ripped the uh, bark on the outside of the bend, and I wasn't sure if this pad was going to survive. So what I did was just wrap it up with a little bit of plastic wrap. I didn't have any raffia or anything else like that that I could use, so I had plastic wrap. So did that. This branch survived. This was last spring that I bent this around, and it has survived. So this foliage up top is going to be coming off. I'm going to be putting this in a pond basket just to get a little bit more air into the roots. Um, and then this pad right here, I'm going to be bringing down a little bit more and seeing what kind of bends I can get into this main trunk right here. Um, this pad, I'm going to be bringing up this way and bringing this trunk down this way as well towards it. That way I can get a little bit more of a kind of semi corkscrew and bring the pad in right here. And try and get this pad to come down a little bit. So we'll be right there and see what kind of bends we can get out of this. Uh, This one is Precumbens that I just did. I bought this in either it was late March when I got this, and we repotted into this little lotus shape. Um, and it was basically a giant T. So it was up here. Where was I? It was up here with this, and this came out straight, and this also came out straight. So what I did was trim up a little bit up top, and then I've guy wired this one down to this little stub, which is Got a little bit of there's a little small stub back here where I've just guy wired it to. That little stub's going to be cut off. And so you'll have this little branch here with a pad. This, towards the end of summer, I will remove this guy wire, and this pad will probably be down around in here. These pads I've been slowly bending farther and farther down towards the inside, so eventually this pad should wind up about right here. And this is basically a continuous pad all the way around the side. And so here's that Harlandia I was talking about earlier. It's a triple branch. You've got one branch that's coming out here going straight back. You've got this one coming up and then jutting out this way. And then the main trunk is following this line up and back in. This is the best side with the Nabari. It's just this massive jumble, which I'm going to have to take some of these crossing roots out here and some of this stuff in here so that we can just have a nice radial root spread here. This front, I think, is the best as far as the Namari goes. It is by far. And you can kind of hide that third branch, but it still gives you depth. The third trunk that's coming back, it's currently being lowered at the moment, as with this one here. Hopefully we can get this one down to about right there as the first directional branch, and then this will be an ideal second directional branch. If we come out and back up, and then hopefully we can get this one to kind of turn back in, get rid of this one right here. Won't be there. Here's the back side of that Harlandi. Like you can see right here, we are pulling this branch down. Down this way, we are bending right around in here and trying to just get this tip come down. And this way it provides depth, and I don't really want to cut the whole thing off. It would leave a massive wound back here that just would not close up for a very long time. Harlandi's just, they're very slow growing. You can see I trimmed in spring. I've got maybe just a few shoots here that are like 4 or 5 leaves long. It's a slow going tree, but the bark is just amazing on this tree. It's not a super old tree, but it looks pretty old just because of the way the bark looks. I love this tree. So this is Camellia. It's got some really nasty wounds over here on this side right back here, which we'll look at here in a minute. I'm thinking probably going to wind up cutting it down right about here and using this as the new leader here going up. Over here, we may probably cut right about there and use this as the shoot here. Cut this third trunk back here, and there's another one that we can go. Another thing that I was thinking about possibly doing is back here and wedge cutting right here the cut wounds and pulling this whole long trunk actually down this way and creating a bit of a semi-cascade. Um, if anybody thinks that that would at all be possible, I dug it out of my yard, so it didn't cost me anything. Just a little bit of Kanuma and some potting soil. Uh, it's something that I'm thinking about doing. I haven't done any massive wedge cuts like that, um, so we'll I'll think about it, and I wouldn't do anything like that until next spring. So you've got some time to convince me to go this way. Otherwise, we're just going to be cutting off and um, leaving it as a triple trunk tree. So this is the cherry. It is something that was somehow growing up underneath my back deck. We just redid the back deck, and while we had it out, I dug this thing out of the ground, and um, yeah, uh, what was left on it died off, but it did start showing throwing shoots. Unfortunately, all of these shoots are coming out from the base. Hopefully, I will be getting some back budding along the trunk, um, or ideally on one of these two branches coming up. That way I can cut down to that and create some nice taper and some really good movement. Um, if I don't get any back budding here, not real sure what I'm going to do. I mean, I guess I can grow these up and just try and hollow this out, and just try and show some age that way as something growing up out of the out of the death that was before. I mean, this was shaded out under my deck, so didn't know what it was at first. I thought it was just a weed, so I just cut them off down at the ground level, and then next year it would come back, and then next year it would come back. It was originally buried about to right there was the original soil level. And then as I dug down and dug down and dug down, I found more and more trunk. And so then the root layer is maybe a half inch below where this is potted. Um, so if I can get some decent growth out of here, we can try and hollow this out and see if we can't make something kind of pretty. Um, yeah. Here's another view of that cherry. So you can see all of the shoots are coming up from the bottom, unfortunately. So we'll find out. Yeah, and I mean the trunk is pretty cool, but if we could get something to back butt off of this side, then we could cut the trunk off right here, and you'd have that big base that's here that comes up and then just takes this shot over, which would be ideal. The other side wouldn't be too bad, and the taper on that other side would be pretty good too. If we can get it on both, then I mean I would ideally keep this side over here as the apex, and then use this as the first directional branch and try and bend this down a little bit. All right, so this is a white mulberry that I also pulled out of my yard. This one was actually growing against the fence back in here. Um, back in here. Back in here. Um, and pulled it up this late winter. Put it in this. It's just a pond, a plastic in-ground pond that I grabbed from Lowe's or Home Depot. I think it was Lowe's. And then just took a drill and drill bit and just loaded it full of holes, trying to get as much air into the soil system as I could. And this thing has just budded and budded and budded. Um, this one, right now, it's got 5 branches coming out. One here, one here, one here, one here, and then there's one that comes up and then juts out like that. So this middle one right in here is going to be taken out. Right now, what I'm using it for is I've got a chopstick in between this, the tip of this one and this branch right here, trying to get that pushed down. This one's obviously going to turn into a windswept design. Um, and so what I'm thinking about doing is chopping this one back here or here. This middle one uh, will be taken out right here. And then this one we may wind up taking out, or I'll figure something out to do with it. And then we have this big main trunk right here, which will probably wind up getting cut back to here. So we'll have like a maybe 18-inch tall tree. Well, to the top of the trunk, I should say. Um, this little branch right here is probably going to get taken out as well. So we'll have a 1, 2, and maybe that third trunk right in there. So it would wind up being this trunk here sweeping out, this trunk here sweeping out, and then this one coming up and sweeping up this way. But cutting it out about 18 inches tall, probably about 12 and probably about 8 or so. And then much of this would go away just because this is that 5th branch that comes up like that, but taking that out. So here you can see a close-up of this stump. There was a little spot cut out of here, um, and that'll probably close up. It's closing up really nicely. There's just a little bit of a stump right there, but so the main trunk is coming up here and then bending out this way, and this is that front one. This middle one right here is going to be taken out, and then this is that third trunk. So this is another mulberry. Came from fairly close to that other one. It was along the fence line over here, um, and this was the first one I actually took out. Took it out. I had a bunch of extra wood laying around. Built a little box for it, and I was quite surprised because I took out a lot of the root system. It didn't have a whole lot of fine feeder roots. It was there's some fairly thick roots up in here, here, and then there's a big giant root right here, which I'm going to have to take care of. However, that's not going to be a big problem with this tree. I'm planning on starting a garden over on the other side where my potting or where my bonsai bench is. And I'm thinking about doing this one more as like a Neowaki style tree to kind of be an accent piece in the garden. Yes, I know it is on the wrong side of the pot. This one I had to do a little emergency repot on. It was not draining at all. It just standing water at the top of the pot, and I had to get in there and clean out some of the roots. Um, a lot of the root system was built up over here, and so next spring. Well, if it reacts well to this, not next spring but the spring after, we'll go in and repot again, moving the tree over to the left side, with this branch coming out, and then turning this into an apex. Um, See if I can't. I've got two branches coming off back in here to the back. I want to swing this one around this way, and then this one will just lower a little bit to kind of fill in this area right in here. And then let this one extend a little bit more and try and get some, when I do bud selection here in the fall, we will try and find one that's coming down this way so we can kind of make it a little bit more of a cascade. So here's the back side of that same tree. You've got this one that's coming towards us, and again right here coming towards us. This one's the one that's going to get dropped down, and drop this one down and towards the front of the tree. Again, I've got this bud right here that looks like it's going to be coming down, and we'll try and continue that out this way. Shimpaku juniper that I just got. It's got quite a lot of little small branchlet, trunklets, whatever you want to call them. One's coming up this way like that, and then this one's coming this way and then going up. What I want to do is air layer this one, and this one. And then this one's going to go into the ground, and then I'm going to air layer those three branches. So most of the tree will be right in here. All the rest of this is going to be air layered off. Then I'm going to be doing a lot of cuttings on this one because where I am in the U.S., I'm down in South Carolina. I can't really find a whole lot of Shimpaku propagators around here. I was able to find this one at a little small bonsai guy that just does it out of his backyard. And he's mostly specializes in trident maples, but he's also got a good bit of elms. And like he had 7 junipers, and this is one of them that he had. And it's just the only chance that I really had to find a Shimpaku. And I mean, hopefully I'll be able to get some cuttings off of this and start propagating and, I mean, do what I can with that. So here you see where they're coming out. One's coming right here, and then the other one's coming out, and actually you can see it turn up right here. So hopefully I can get these air layered off and have a couple more plants. And this is looking in at the back side. Here you see that one that goes down and up, and this is the one that comes basically straight out to this. Thank you all for tuning in. Comments, critiques, any well wishes are more than welcome. And like I said, I'm new to this, just learning. So until I see you again at the bench in the backyard, just remember, grow them big and keep them small.